Don't not be Thibodeau. And here it comes. It's about to come in. Oh my God. They didn't. They took Sauce Gardner. Oh my God, they don't want an edge. Maybe he likes Jermaine Johnson at 10. Then we're not going to get a wide receiver?
Garrett Wilson, wide receiver.
Oh my God, no edge.
Was sitting there.
The Jets traded up. The Jets traded up. Are we taking JJ? Are we taking JJ?
Because I know Braden is in New Zealand saying, we should get Lily, Mike. He's definitely saying that. JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great! Yes! They took Roger McCreary, they didn't take Dean, and we traded up. We can get the Kobe Dean. We can get the Kobe Dean. It really is. They took Breece Hall. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. But there's also Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is the best tight end in the class personally. They took Jeremy Ruckert. He took Jeremy Ruckert. Yes! We got a Jeremy. We got a Jeremy. Oh, and the Jets pick, and it's Max Mitchell, offensive tackle. We needed that. That's wow. We took Michael Clemens. I never heard of him. A defensive edge. And welcome to Jets Chaos, Double Chaos. We got Lee Cravat in the house, and we are ready to preview this game. You're laughing. Tell us what's so funny, Lee.
I'm watching your reaction to the draft, and you were like, oh, Sauce Gardner. Oh, Garrett Wilson. Oh, Jermaine Johnson, please. Oh, please. But if you look at the impacts they've made, it was the correct way to pick them.
I never look. The second they picked JJ, the reason I think not just me, I think the whole fan base was so happy was because it made the Sauce Gardner and the Garrett Wilson picks make so much sense. Because like when we got Sauce Gardner, we got Garrett Wilson, that was great. I knew they were both great players, but we didn't get an edge, and we knew how important it was for this team can't win without pass rush. And we didn't know that Bryce Huff was going to be so good.
No, I know, but it's so funny looking back. You're like, Breece Hall, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think I like him, but
don't get me wrong.
He's such a stud. And, even Clemens, right? You were like, Clemens, who is this guy?
So we got Eric.
JJ hasn't done as much, so.
No, but he's been very good. He just, I think it's because it's the same thing as like Jeremy Ruckert. It's like in the positions they're really strong, they're developing the younger players the way they would choose to develop them.
Yeah.
And in the positions where they need the help, they've thrown them into the fire. But if you look, JJ, I mean, he's playing first and second down run situations, so he's not going to have the big sack total. But he's doing an incredible job containing the edge, which is something we could not do last year. We were not containing the edge, and he is containing. So that's a big, big plus, and I don't think, he's only playing like 20% of the snaps. So even if you look at the few snaps, the few sacks that he has, it's really impressive.
Yeah, it's funny watching your reaction.
Yeah. No,
what happened.
Look, that's why I did it. I said, let me record this. So whether I was unhappy or happy, there's no denying it. There's no, you know what I mean? Let's be very real with everybody. So there's no argument about how I felt. But, and there's you can never replace it, right? It's priceless. It's the real and natural reaction to something, that was really happening.
Yeah.
Pure Adrenaline Sports is here. That's John Post. Pure Adrenaline Sports, the best YouTube channel for fantasy football.
It's Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday though? Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Why? Oh, he's saying chaos on Monday. Love it. Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday,
man. It's Tuesday. Just saying.
Never know when you're gonna get some chaos. Johnny G says, "Hey, Jeremy, what's up, Johnny G?" Yeah, it is Twin Chaos, Big Green. That's a good way to say it. Maybe it should be the Twin Chaos Show. The Tuesday Twin Chaos Show.
We're not twins, though. We're not twins.
Yeah.
We're three brothers.
This is a true story. The son of my father's business partner and good friends, lifelong friend, Leon Rumsky, his son, Robert, his dad's really old. Leon's really old now. So Robert sent me a picture that he had found in his father's house of a bar mitzvah picture and sent it to me saying, "Hey, we found this bar mitzvah picture of you." And I said, my initial gut reaction was I said Lee. And then before I told him it was Lee, I doubted it for a second. And I said, "Is it me or is it Lee?" And I'm like looking, and the only way I really knew was the suit. You had the darker suit at your bar mitzvah, but we were really looked alike a lot when we were both at the same age.
Some people would say we look kind of alike now. You know,
Yeah. Some people might say that.
Some people might say that.
I don't know why people think he's a bust. He's not a bust at all. They're just developing him. Why would you see Jeremy Ruckert on the field? Think about it. They signed and paid 2 tight ends. And the reason why Yeboah dresses instead of him is because Yeboah plays special teams. That's the only reason Yeboah is dressing over Jeremy Ruckert. We definitely do not know anything. Like, this is completely, like, it's just speculation. It's very possible they're just developing them and that they're not going to re-sign because there's options out of these contracts that we sign. Like, we might not see one of the tight ends back next year. Like, we don't, because they're ready to elevate Jeremy Ruckert. But, like, it's way too early to start worrying that he's a bust. Way too early. He also missed all of training camp with a bad foot. So he never, you know what I mean? So he never really got time to win a job or convince anybody. Wifey questions? Oh.
Maybe the Monday thing.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. Sith Happens is here. Man, he loves your Star Wars stuff. He's a new, dedicated follower because of you. He just wants to hear
you. Because of me.
He wants your Darth and my Emperor. So,
your Emperor is much better than my Darth.
Green Bean's burner is here. What's going on? Is Green Bean alive? Is Green Bean alive? You'll see him tonight. We're gonna get started. We're gonna wrap this show up at 5:00 because the panel is on tonight, as far as I know. I don't think it was canceled, and you'll see Green Bean. Green Bean is alive and well. Green Bean is okay. I know why you haven't seen him. The reason you haven't seen Green Bean is because he went up for his 50th birthday. That's right. Green Bean turned 50. He went up to Staten Island and Brooklyn to be with his family. So he just spent a lot of time with his family. That's why you haven't seen a lot from Green Bean, but we were here Sunday calling the game from his channel. So he was alive. And Matt O'Leary got him the coolest present in the world. He got him a personalized jersey, 72 Jets jersey, which would normally be Clemens, but on the back, instead of Clemens, it says Green Bean.
Nice.
And the 72 wasn't because of Clemens. The 72 is because he was born in 1972.
I'm a lot older than Green Bean.
Should you be to the right? Maybe that makes sense. Let me move you over.
Oh, that gave me a headache. I have a headache now.
I just realized people aren't used like you're supposed to be to my right. Like
I don't know. This is when I used to watch the Johnny Carson show. I'm where Johnny Carson was, and you're in the Ed McMahon seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, that's right, sir. There's Johnny. Okay. Hey, fellas, it's cold down in North Carolina. My dad was telling me. Yeah.
This is kind of crazy here where I am in Camas, Washington. We live on a big hill, and Thursday and Friday, my kids are coming in tomorrow. Both kids with their significant, one significant other, a friend, a bunch of people. They're coming in for the holidays. We live on a big hill, big slope, tight turns, and it's supposed to snow on Thursday and Friday. And my neighbor says the cars can't get out. Like, they can't go on this road. So we might be stuck here for a few days while it's 18 degrees.
I would load up on some food. That's it. That's all you got to do is make sure you get plenty of food in the house. Jocelyn and I are actually tomorrow we leave. We're driving to Jackson. We're going to Jackson, but we're not going to the Johnny Folsom Trail. We're going out into the mountains, like a little further east, to a ranch. And we rented. These people have a double house, like it's like 2 houses stuck together. They rent out the
duplex.
You're right,
a duplex.
Well, it's 2 beautiful houses stuck together, and they rent the one out. They only have one guest at a time on their property, 60 acres, horses, llama, pigs, all kinds of animals. It's we do it for our dog. We're bringing Ramsey because he loves horses and he gets to run around the ranch and he gets to be with all the animals. And they have a 40 miles of man-made hiking. And they have an arcade, and it's like we're just going there.
Do they serve the pigs for Christmas?
I don't think so. So we're going from Wednesday. We're going tomorrow, and we're staying there through Saturday. So we're pretty excited.
Nice.
Dom C, who is my, he's our player personnel guy looking at the players. We're going to be doing a show that we're not going to do too much during the season. I mean, we're watching the season, but as soon as the season ends, Dom C and I will be on at least once a week. Doing mock drafts, but more importantly than mock drafts, we're going to be looking at all the college players and talking about all the upcoming players and all that good stuff. So look forward to that. And let's talk about the game. We got a game coming up. Everybody, brother Egghead, everybody, like nobody lets us don't get flagged for singing Johnny Cash songs. You're right. I mean, they've been flagging. When you get monetized, they try to flag you for everything because they want any excuse to take the money. That's what I learned from Green Bean. They want to take your money. So they will find any excuse. And we got to a point where we're afraid to sing songs because we might sing it too well and then get flagged.
Yeah, you're a great singer.
But we could do the old Irish traditional ones. I don't think there's any copyright on those.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you're all convinced that Zach is the guy now, right? You'd be crazy to think Mike White can do what Zach could do after the Detroit game. I don't understand that.
I want to say something about that.
I don't feel either way. I mean, I'm happy that Zach played okay. He didn't play great to what we want and need, but he was improved, and I'm happy. But I think I was kind of hoping for more against Detroit's defense, to be honest.
They're doing. First of all, Mike White and Zach are very different quarterbacks. And I think it's fairly factual what they're doing. Come on, you got Zach who can scramble a bit, throw on the run more, even scramble for a couple of yards, get a first down. But he's a little wild with his throwing. He does some. You pop your head and go, "Holy cow! What the hell was that?" With Zach a bunch of times. Yeah. With White, you don't really do that. He stays in the pocket. If he gets his 2 seconds, he's going to zip it. He's going to be pretty darn accurate. But if he gets pressure, he's kind of stuck there. I mean, they're just different quarterbacks.
There's a fake narrative going around that I turned on Zach. And what's crazy about it is there's 100 videos here in this channel that show this is not true. This is a lie. I never turned on Zach. I never stopped hoping for Zach. I simply got to a point where I told the truth. And the truth is, and Zach has now played in 20 games. The truth is, hasn't been good. Like, it's okay, though. It's his first 20 games. It's okay. But the reality is, if this was Zach for the rest of his career, if the way he played against Detroit was Zach Wilson for the rest of his career, he's not going to start anymore, like permanently, because he had a 51% completion ratio. And it just wasn't good enough. But here's the thing. I'm not complaining and I'm not upset at Zach. He did make some of the best throws. He made some amazing throws, which is why I've loved him since we drafted him. It's exactly why I still believe in him, is because Zach Wilson makes plays that only right now maybe 3 quarterbacks in the NFL could make. Like, he really does. He makes plays and throws in a way that only maybe 3 people in the NFL can do it. And what makes that amazing is that means Zach is one of 4 people in the world on this planet that can do it. I mean, it's a pretty outstanding statement, and it's a true statement. He made plays that were outrageous, and he improved. And I was happy he improved. Is he where he needs to be, though? No.
But he's, it's one game, Jeremy. It's one game. He's definitely closer. In this game, we saw a Zach that is closer.
Right.
Closer. Last time we talked, I think it was on Monday or Sunday, you gave him a 10 to 12% chance of making it as the NFL quarterback, yes?
Yeah.
I said 20 to 25. So we want him to make it. That's what we want.
Yeah. People have to. That's the number one thing I think to really get across that, and it's not a lot of people. It's like there's one guy with like 5 burner accounts, and he's putting it all over the place. That I don't like Zach, and so it's ridiculous. I'm even addressing it, but I want to make it very clear. this is from this channel, and I think you've done this from the start, Lee. All we're going to get is this is where we stand. This is the last time I'm going to say it. We are very, very hopeful that Zach is going to become a great quarterback. We have not lost complete hope.
For us, not for Seattle.
Right. We have not, right, exactly. We have not lost hope because me and Lee both grew up watching Phil Simms. Phil Simms was much, much worse his first 20 games, significantly worse. And Phil Simms ended up winning a Super Bowl and leading the league sometimes in QB rating. I mean, had a very good career. Vinny Testaverde, who was a Jet, who he would have maybe won a Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt, had a much worse 20 games. There are lots of examples of NFL quarterbacks who were worse their first 20 games. So we believe in Zach Wilson still. We're still hopeful that Zach Wilson is going to be the quarterback of the future and be great.
Heck,
but at the same time, and both can be true, you're allowed to believe in Zach Wilson. You're allowed to still have hope in him. Still have hope. I don't know if I believe in him. I'm kind of in the middle, but like I have a lot of hope that Zach will. I haven't given up hope. But here's the key thing. Both things could be true. We could talk about Zach Wilson's performance and be honest about how it's been. And that doesn't mean we hate him, and it doesn't mean we've given up hope in him. We're just being honest in what we've seen. Go ahead, Lee.
And Jeremy, my perspective, a teeny bit different. Like on last week's Zach, I think he had a lot of passes incomplete. It could have easily been better. I mean, you have to watch the game, and you're right. It happens to every quarterback, but when you do those comeback drives with a little time on the clock, you're just zipping the ball a lot, and they know it's coming. Such a different situation, and then you get a 20 or 30 or 40-yard pass, which he did, so it kind of makes up for it. Even in the stats from a passer rating, they give you more credit. If you get those big passes, you get a lot more credit, even if you had some misses. I'm more concerned about the throws that were just wild. Yeah. I'm concerned about the too many wild prayer throws, because in the end, that's going to bite. You can't win if you throw interceptions, and there's too much chance for interceptions right now, the way he slings it. But I'll say, when he throws on the run, it's just a thing of beauty at times. And we saw that against Detroit. We also saw a sidearm throw, like where they were up above, and he changed his throw to sidearm and put it right on the money. Now, the guy missed it. They said it was too hard, whatever, too hard. But he put it right in the guy's hands. That was a sweet, sweet throw. And I haven't seen Mike White do those things. I really like Mike White. I think he could take us into the playoffs right now. I think he'd give us a better chance. But Zach, I do think, has a higher ceiling. And Saleh said today, he got the skills that I forget what Saleh said. But he said basically the same thing in his press conference today.
Yeah, look. I mean, Zach didn't lose us that game. And, some people say, you threw an interception that was 3 points, so he lost this game. No. Every quarterback throws an interception sometimes. I mean, it's totally normal for quarterbacks to throw interceptions. It happens. He definitely had too many passes that were that were off target, that were literally 5 yards ahead of the receiver, too high, that could have landed in the arms of the safety.
That's what makes me the most nervous.
Yeah, that's very concerning. I think when people say, oh, but look, he's so horrible, he's overthrowing these guys. But the thing people forget is this all comes down to one thing being fixed. And then those things don't happen. And that one thing is if he processes faster. The moment he's able to read the defense and make a more decisive decision is the moment he'll be able to throw from a planted position with good mechanics. When he waits too long and then he has to break out of the pocket or move, or the pocket's not clean enough to step through the throw, a lot of his throws, you'll look at his feet and say, oh, his mechanics are bad. Well, his mechanics are bad because he's either on the move or because he doesn't have the room to step through the throw because he's not getting rid of the ball soon enough. So really, and this is all speculation. I'm in my opinion, when he is able to catch up to Mike White in this one area, and that is decisiveness, being able to process and make a decision, when he catches up in that area and his throws, because of that, are coming from planted feet, stepping through in those throws, you're not going to see all this inaccuracy.
Well, and that's what we hope.
That's what we hope.
That's the hope. And I want to close the topic, okay, if we can.
Okay.
But I want nothing. I want to get us back to the game coming up in 2 days. It's a super important game, and I want nothing. Well, that's not true. I want a lot of things in life, but I want really bad for Zach to have the game of his life and win that starting job in everybody's head and keep us in contention. We have to win this game for the playoffs. I mean, last week I was saying, going 3-1 probably wouldn't be enough. And now that's the best we could do if we win all 3. And it is going to be enough. If we win all 3, we're going to be in. So it starts. Sal will say every game is a playoff game, most important game. And it is. Mm-hmm. This game is so important. Look, we're sitting here, Christmas time, holiday season is Hanukkah. And we're here, and the Jets game actually matters. And I wouldn't say they hold, they control their own destiny, because New England could potentially sweep also. But New England's not going to sweep, which means we've just got to win these games. And that starts with winning Thursday. We have to win.
Yeah. Yes. So, and I want to be very clear about this. We're not saying it's good enough. We're just saying it's the truth. Not saying it's good enough. Like moving forward in the future, he's going to have to get better. Otherwise, it's not good enough.
He's going to have to win games.
Right. He's going to have to win games. He's going to have to get much better. Yeah. He's going to have to get much better and evolve as a quarterback. We know this. 51% is not good enough. We all know this. At the half, he was 135 quarterback rating. He was looking really good. So, I'm just saying, he's had his moments.
And he had. Come on, he did some things that other quarterbacks haven't done. One of the best performances from a big play perspective. Hit a huge number of big plays. I think it might have been the most in the league.
Yeah. I mean, so let's just end that. Let's move ahead. Everybody is so obsessed with it. You're literally depriving yourself of the best season the Jets have had since 2015. So let's stop this, because it's been 7 years since we've had anything good to talk about. Let's stop obsessing over it. They're going to work out who the quarterback is. We don't decide anyway. People are acting like we're sitting here trying to get votes, like me and Lee are picking who the quarterback is. We're not.
No, actually, I got a call. I got a call on the phone. Double Chaos. I hear your opinion is very valuable. What do you think I should do? I don't know, man. He calls me every day.
We're not picking the quarterback. Let's talk about the fact that here's the deal. Okay, and this is how I break down the season. We got 2 road games. One is right now in Jacksonville. So we're going to know right now, if we lose that game, it's over. And we just start thinking about, are we playing for respect? Are we playing just for the mental, 500, whatever it is?
It's probably over. You can never say definitely. It's probably over.
Okay, it's not mathematically over.
One of the reasons it's probably over is because Jacksonville will then be ahead of us in the wild card hunt. So, and a bunch of other teams can catch up if they win. So, for all intents and purposes, if we lose, we're probably out. I shouldn't have corrected you. We're probably
right. So I mean, let's just focus. Let be reasonable and say, like, in reality, and most likelihood, forget about mathematics. First, I know you don't like to do that, but just for a second, let's just pretend we're in the world where we need to win all 3 games to make the playoffs. The way I'm breaking it down is, first we got Jacksonville. That's coming up in 48 hours. Boom. So we'll know. We get through that game, we go to Seattle. To me, it's beat it. If we could beat Jacksonville, get our confidence back, we get 10 days to heal, 10 days to make sure Q is fresh, 10 days to argue and bicker and drive each other crazy over who should start at quarterback.
Based on how Zach does.
But we get 10 days for Corey Davis to get 100%, even if he's not tonight, or you know what I mean? Everybody's heals up. Everybody gets time to heal up. Knock on wood, there's no future injuries on Thursday. And we get to come into Seattle. If we win and we beat Jacksonville, and the way I look at that Seattle game is win and we're in, and I say win and we're in, not to the playoffs. The Miami game, if the Miami game turns out to be, which it would, like we overcome Miami, we know that. If the Miami game ends up being we beat Miami, we go to the playoffs. The Miami game is the playoff game. I'm not going to say there are 3 playoff games going.
People haven't seen it if people haven't seen it, I covered this in the video, I think, like super succinctly, right? If we sweep, and that includes beating Miami in that last game, we go ahead of them, and New England has 3 crazy difficult games. I think Cincinnati, then Miami, and then New England. They're not going to win. They're not going to. New England has Buffalo at the end, last game.
Right.
They have Cincinnati, and they have some other playoff team.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it. I don't think New England.
Miami.
I'm not worried about New England. I don't think they're running the table. It's not worried about it. I mean, if it happens, it happens, and then we don't deserve it, and that's it.
But it's not gonna. Here's why it's not gonna. Here's what's the most amazing thing. I mean, if they win, it's exactly like you said. Win at home, take care of business, get healthy. 10 days later, go to Seattle. You win that game. You are playing Miami in Miami
for the playoffs.
At the same time, New England is playing Buffalo in Buffalo, and Buffalo's going to have a bye. Either a full bye, either a bye or home court, home field advantage in their second playoff game. They're already going to have them in the first. They're going to have some serious stuff on the line in Buffalo. They're not going to lose to New England. That's if New England beats Cincinnati and Miami, which I don't think is going to happen. But how awesome would that be, that Miami game?
Right. I just want to make it to that Miami game. Like, I want to beat Jacksonville. And people are going crazy saying look, stop building them up to be a Super Bowl team. We did that with Detroit, too. Jacksonville's not a Super Bowl team. Like, we got to stop this.
No.
They're good. They're not bad. Okay, they're not as bad as their record. They're better. They're not the Jacksonville of the last 3 years. I get all that. But stop talking about them like they're a Super Bowl team. They're not a Super Bowl team. Okay, they're like us. They're a team that's much improved, that's obviously going to have a good future with a good quarterback. They're not there yet. I know they've been playing well, and we haven't. But guess what? Momentum changes all the time. We're in our stadium. We're at MetLife. It's a home game. I'm not saying – I don't care if we're the favorite, not the favorite. I know things aren't good. We lost 3 games. It's a football game. Everyone's talking like we can't win. It's insanity. It's a football game.
It's absolutely we can win. It's any.
We almost beat Buffalo in Buffalo, and people are talking like we can't beat Jacksonville at home. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Any given Sunday, baby.
It's like, be a fan. You just want to throw away the season. How about just rooting for the Jets to win? Because if the Jets win tomorrow, like you said, we got 10 days to heal up. We're feeling better. We're feeling better about ourselves. Seattle's not feeling great about themselves. Seattle's tampered off. They've literally tampered off. They're out of it. They've got nothing to play for, which doesn't make them not easy or not a game. But I'm just saying we could do this. And if we go into that Miami game, like I expect, if we do win these 2 games, that Miami game will be for the wild card spot. I believe it. I'm predicting that I'm so confident of that. And then it's like a playoff game. We get the thrill of against our biggest rival. We're playing for the playoffs. Isn't that great?
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
We will be the January Jets. We'll have a game in January that matters.
Yeah.
2 games actually, but that's not the Jets. That's not the Jets that we've had for many years. I was a Charger fan when I lived in San Diego, and I was there a long time, and I went to a lot of games, most games. And when we got to the point we started believing in the team, when we got to the end of the season with the 3 or 4 games left and we needed to win all of them, we always believed we could as fans. It doesn't really matter that we did. But I was licking my wounds on Sunday and Monday. I was like, we're out. And then today I woke up and I said, we're not out. We are not out. We're exactly where teams that make the playoffs are, in the hunt. We just have to do better than the other teams that are in the hunt. Come on.
I know.
We have to believe. Absolutely. We have to believe, baby.
Right. And the other thing is, on top of that, is, yes, after this season is done, whatever happens, we make the playoffs, we make a wild card team. After it's all said and done, there's some, and we'll have a whole offseason to be excited about it. There's a lot of good things coming our way. Okay, there's a lot of players that are going to be coming back. We're going to hear about their rehabs, their rehabbing. There's gonna be a lot of great things coming next year. This is the start. We're only in the beginning of a very. Lee, you've been through this before. You lived in San Diego when they were rebuilding.
Yeah.
We lived through the Rex Ryan years in 2009 or whatever when they were rebuilt. We've been through this before. We know what it looks like. We're in the very beginning of something special, aren't we?
We're, it's been oversaid, but we're ahead of plan, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And that means our young players are getting experience in these playoff games. These are playoff games. These are other teams that all want to make the playoffs that we're battling with. And I really want to win. And I think we can win. But even if we lose, I mean, like last week and last 3 weeks, you learn something. And you got to find that. You have to find it within you to win those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have to learn. We have to learn how to win.
So Daniel Faust comes in with a super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. He says, we can end great with Zach. So do it. I hope so. I hope it's not too late for him to, like, he showed improvement. If he comes in tomorrow, because he's not going to be rusty. He just played 4 days ago.
Thursday.
Maybe he's back. He just play Thursday. Back in the groove. Hopefully he gets hot. Maybe he throws for 63 to 68%. I'll take it. Anywhere in that range, get into the mid-60s. We're a very, very dangerous team and a very good team and a very hard team to beat when a New York Jet quarterback right now on this team throws for 65%. So that's what we got to hope happens. And then if he does that, maybe he goes into Seattle, a lot of confidence, and then we'll see. I think that Mike White is done for the year because of his ribs. I honestly do. And maybe not even. They might use that as an excuse. If Zach is playing well, that for the sake of the organization, in the future, they need Zach to work out and they need to let him. So if he's playing well enough, they're going to stay with him, I think. What do you think?
I think if Zach wins, Zach's in. But if Mike can play and the Jets have any hope, like if they have any hope, if Zach looks bad and Mike can play, Mike's coming in. Okay, that's going to happen. And if they can make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If they're not in the playoffs, if they can't make the playoffs, why not just leave Zach in there and let his learning continue? You know what I mean? So the only scenario that Mike comes back is if the Jets are still in it, even though Zach looks bad. So that's like really threading the needle to make that happen. Like he throws interceptions, but the defense on our side gets interceptions. So Zach looks like crap, but we somehow win the game, and then they'll rush to get Mike White back in the game.
Right. But I definitely think that we're not going to just blow the playoffs for Zach because we want to see him. It's what we're saying is I think they might leave him in. And by the way, again, people are talking like we're making the decision. Guys, we're just speculating what they're going to do. Robert Saleh is going to make the decision. So you don't have to yell at me not to do it. I'm speculating. I'm guessing that if Zach plays well and we win, they will stay with him.
Absolutely, they will. They will. I'm
speculating.
They will. If you have a developing quarterback that just played well and you're in this playoff hunt, people would think you're nuts to put in the guy that's coming off a rib injury. It wouldn't make any sense. It doesn't matter what I want. I mean, maybe I'll think Zach's better too, but it's just not a good coaching move, I don't think, to take the guy with momentum out that is improving and playing well when you're in the playoff hunt and he's not blowing it for you. That's just me. Yeah. I just can't see it happening. If he plays well.
True.
Oh, Jets.
Sith comes in and says, "Happy holidays, guys." And go Jets. Thank you, Sith Happens. I appreciate the super chat. That was kind of odd, the way you just sent us an emperor message, but happy holidays, guys, and go Jets. But this is, it's, I don't think it's about smart. I think it's about fast. It's
Yeah.
speed. It's about speed. Obviously the interception he threw wasn't smart, but it's not like Mike White has never thrown an interception. He threw interceptions too. So, I mean, it's like quarterbacks throw interceptions. Look, right now,
any quarterback you can name that's played a few seasons has thrown 10 interceptions at least. Yes, you're going to throw some. You just don't want to throw the dumb ones, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I mean, again, it goes back to we're just sitting here guessing. I think that, like, who gives us the best chance to win right now if they were both completely healthy? Right now in their career and their development, Mike White sees the field better. He processes faster. He doesn't have the physical attributes or the physical talent that Zach Wilson has, but he's the guy that would give us the better chance. But
it's our opinion, but I agree exactly with what you said.
Yeah, that's our opinion.
I agree with what you said.
But Mike White has bad ribs. They're bruised. They're cracked. Whatever they are, he's broken. So Zach right now is the better guy because Mike can't even take contact. Yes. If Zach plays well and beats Jacksonville, it just changes the situation because you have a quarterback that you're developing that just played well and won. Why would you sit him?
And Saul to come out in the press conference and say, well, yeah, we think his ribs are good enough that he could play if we needed him to. But given the fact that it's still tender and he still might flinch when guys are coming at him and Zach's playing well, this is assuming he's playing well, we're going to keep going with Zach. Everybody's going to understand that.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is like, it's not like he goes the whole game and is not doing it. It's like there was a run, through the first few drives on Sunday where he was doing it. And there have been drives against Buffalo. There was moments where he was doing it. And in Tennessee, we saw him doing it, in his third game ever. We've seen Zach Wilson doing it. So it's just a matter of consistency, stacking it play after play, doing it for a whole game. So everybody's saying there's no way he could do it. Well, that's proven wrong. We know he's capable of doing it. It's can he do it for 60 minutes?
But Jeremy, both sides are wrong, right? If you say Zach can do it, how can you know that? If
no.
Zach
I know
can do it.
I know.
Not you.
Right. Okay.
In other words, the thing is, we really don't know how he's going to develop. Somebody in the chat said it, and I totally agree. I was looking at the numbers for Trevor Lawrence, and he had tons and tons of bad games, and finally he started getting games that were very, more solid, and now very, very good games. And it took him a lot of games, more than 20 games, to get there. It did. Yeah. So it's not time to give up. It's time to be worried. But of course, we're fans. We worry. Number 2 draft pick.
Yeah, no. So I mean, and some people saying I backpedal. I'm not backpedaling. I have more. I went from believing Zach was going to be the guy to now doubting it. Like I have a lot of doubts, a lot of reservations, a lot of nerves that are telling me he might not be the guy, but also not giving up hope because it's only 20 games. And I mean, I don't know how people could know. Like, how could Joe in the chat know for a fact? How could you know? Did you watch Steve Young his first 20 games? Go back and watch him. Go back and watch Steve Young his first 20 games. This is his name, right? Steve Young. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback who was worse than Zach Wilson his first 20 games. Worse than Zach Wilson's 20 games. Go back and watch Phil Simms. Phil Simms was worse his first full 20 games than Zach Wilson.
But I want to point out the way,
and I'm not saying that means anything because I'm just that he's gonna be good. I'm saying it's just evidence that nobody is done after 20 games. Like, you can't make the decision. You don't know.
We don't know.
Saying he watched Simms. So did you watch Simms' first 20 games? Were you sitting there saying he's still going to be good? Or did you think he was going to be a bust? What was it about Simms that made you know he was going to come back and be good? Because I have a feeling if you're saying you watched him, you're going to claim that you didn't think he was a bust, right? So then you tell me what the difference is. Tell me what Phil Simms in those 20 games when he had a 43 completion percentage, what hope that gave you that he was going to be good.
Hey,
What
Jeremy,
magic you saw?
Jeremy, let's put
Yeah.
a quarterback controversy hold. Let's park it. Let's park it until Thursday after the game or Friday. Let's talk about this Detroit game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are key things to talk. I'm not the Detroit game. Jacksonville, right?
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing to worry about is Trevor Lawrence. I went back to try to find some bad games, and I had to go back a lot of games. So he's on a very, very good streak of being a very above average quarterback. A very solid quarterback.
Who's
And
that?
so he's going to play very well against us. Just like Josh Allen played so great against us.
I mean, look, this is the perfect opportunity for Trevor to have a step back game, like a bad game. We've seen it all the time. We see players that go on a roll and start doing well, like Tua. Then what happened to Tua? He went into San Francisco and he looked really bad, right? Because he bumped into a really good defense. And there's a very good chance. I never in the matchups anymore. I never feel like they're like any offense is beyond our ability, like to control. I mean, Detroit has been putting up 30 points a game. In reality, we only gave up 10 points against Detroit, right? And then out of those 10, 7 of those 10 were one horrendous
play.
A horrible play.
Yeah. So
otherwise, we were holding them to 3 points that they had earned.
I think just the way to talk about the fact that we can hold him. And again, I can't say we're gonna hold him, definitely, but we held Josh Allen. Our defense held you'd have to say he's an awesome quarterback.
Yeah.
We held him.
We hold everyone.
Made him look bad.
Our defense is legit.
That's held everybody.
All right. Everyone tried to make excuses early in the year. It's only against backup quarterbacks. And all those people that were saying that have all shut up and went away.
Yeah.
Even the guys on TV, the analysts on TV, right, who are saying, they play backup quarterbacks. Now they sit there and pretend they never said that and said, well, the Jets have a great defense.
Yeah,
everybody has moved on from this nonsense.
So on the road or at home, they've showed they have a rocking defense. So we are not like talking daydreams when we say they can hold this other, now I'm saying really good quarterback. Trevor's come to pass, right? But that doesn't mean they've held every other quarterback to under 20, points by the offense. So Trevor's good maybe for his 10 to 20 points. That the Jets score 24, just like last week and just like the week before and the week before, they win. So it's really, to me, it's not about Trevor Lawrence. It's about, can the Jets score and can the defense actually get some takeaways?
Yeah,
right?
and the other thing I want to say about Jacksonville, a big difference with their offense is with Detroit, they had some scary receivers, right? They have this guy, Ahmad. We saw what he could do from the slot. He's really hard to, they added Jameson Williams, who's like Tyreek Hill speed. Buffalo obviously has amazing receivers in Diggs and Boyd. And now Jacksonville, Trevor's playing better. But who does Jacksonville have at receiver that we're afraid of? Like both their boundary receivers, right? They have no one that we could be afraid of.
Look,
when you talk about Sauce and Reed.
Look, Detroit didn't even target Sauce. I don't think they targeted him at all. Right. And Reed stepped up every time, pretty much, that he was called upon. Again, I think Trevor is a good quarterback. He's on a very good streak. And so he's going to get some completed passes out there, but he's not going to put up big numbers. They're not breaking 20. They're not breaking 20.
Right. I mean, look, they don't have the wide receivers. We're going to shut, we already know we're going to shut down their wide receivers. We're going to shut down their wide receivers. So the question really becomes is, okay, what is Jacksonville's going to do to our defense that's so scary? They have a good quarterback who could throw. Okay. I don't, there's nothing about that team offensively that scares me. And then their defense,
Well,
They
this is
play
the
very
question.
well sometimes. Their defense is good. They're not bad, but they're not Denver. They're not Green Bay. They're not San Francisco. They're not us. They're not Buffalo. I mean, it's not a defense that we're not going to be like we definitively cannot.
Going back to our defense, we get Q back, right?
I think so. Did anybody hear the press conference today? I don't know if he practiced but they said
I thought they said he's coming back.
He said that he was heavily expecting him to play. That's what Saleh said right away on Monday. Even he said we expect Q to play.
Yeah, so if he plays, I think under 20, 13, 14, 17. But the question is, are we going to score? And I'm going to say, Jeremy, right now, OL. We have talented running backs, but without an offensive line, they're not going to do what they could do. And with Zach, Zach has to scramble every play. It's just not going to happen. He's going to throw interceptions.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just it comes down to the same thing with this team. If our offense plays well and we can put up some points, we'll win. And it starts with not the quarterback. To me, in my opinion, it starts with the offensive line and the running.
I said that.
Pretending I don't hear you. We established the running game, good offensive line, good running game. Then we just, it makes it easy for any quarterback. So, look, we match up well in this game. It's a good game for us. I like this game. Our offensive line has to play well, though. I mean, they played like garbage last week. They have to play well. Like this really has to be. They have to reach deep down inside themselves and ask themselves, "Do you want this?"
Yeah.
They have to come out and they have to do the job.
This is an NFL team we're playing. We're an NFL team. We're not playing a scrub team, and we're not scrubs anymore. Now it's two teams that can play some football that every team doesn't want to play. They don't want to play us, but now they don't want to play Jacksonville very much. They're on a nice streak themselves. They're on a very positive streak. Yeah. And so it's going to be a battle. And frankly, we said this last week, if they don't win, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So they can't step up and win. We don't deserve to be in the playoffs, but they certainly can win. Yeah. They have what they need to win.
We definitely can. I mean, again, like if we're playing Philadelphia, if we're playing Kansas City, I might be singing a different tune about, with our injuries and are we ready yet? But not against Jacksonville. Against Jacksonville, I'm going to say my expectation is we win this game. And going back to it, their running back is dangerous, Etienne, but we've stopped really good running backs before. Like we've stopped running backs. So it's not that we can't stop the run this year. There were some drives that were concerning against Detroit with the runs, but until that, they really didn't. Even though it felt like it, they really didn't tear us apart running the ball like it felt like they were when you looked at the numbers at the end. But they did have two running backs who were having success. I think a big part of that is Q Williams, right? So if Quinnen is back, I think a lot of that goes away.
And then the wild card really is, and it has mattered, special teams has kind of cost us 2 games.
Well, this punter, I've never seen a punter have like in the, and this is back to last year too when he played near the end. I mean, but this season, I've never seen a punter manage to keep his job with so many mistakes. Cravat attack.
Triple chaos, baby.
That's triple chaos.
Yeah.
I have never seen a punter. It's like, to me, this is what I've observed about this guy, Braden Mann. Every 5th punt, about 20% of the times that he punts, he shanks it or does something awful.
Yeah, we easily, and I don't know what the coach is going to do about this. We can easily lose the game because of that. I don't think we're going to lose the game because Saleh being basically bad at time management. Not the very next week. He's going to assign someone. Time out.
Well,
Yell at me.
He has somebody. And
Yeah.
that person might get fired. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next year that person is no longer with the team, because I think it's the special teams coach. So it's a double whammy. Not only did I
If
give
it
up
is, if it is. Yeah.
another punt return touchdown,
Yeah.
but I also screwed you on the time management, because, I think I have to check with some people, but I think the special teams coach is also the person who's supposed to be in charge of, like, his, the guy in his ear about the time management.
Yeah. So those are mistakes. I just can't. The punts, I can see that happening again, sadly, but I can't see another time clock management mistake. Not right after you make one. It's like all you can think about is, am I messing up again? There's no way. I'll get fired if I mess up again. The buck stops at Salah.
Jet Buttercup goes, wrong, Jeremy. Makes him feel better about himself. It's a separate assistant. You could have just said, Jeremy, it's a separate assistant. Wrong, Jeremy. Wrong, Jeremy.
I like saying wrong, Jeremy.
I said I think, right? I didn't say it as a fact. I very clearly said I think. I'm not sure, because somebody had said it was a special teams. But Jet Up Buttercup is saying that it's a separate assistant. Thank you. Okay. Don't hit me. It's apparently okay. He didn't mean it like that. He said
Wrong.
He's laughing. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little paranoid, Jet Up, because I get yelled at a lot by people. Like, and I don't know why. It's like I'm doing my best here. But Jet Up,
I liked it. I think you deserved a wrong for that.
Wrong. So according to Jet Up Buttercup, though, and I believe him, he's coming in pretty confidently saying it's a separate person. So that's two people we have to, like, fire. Someone is saying, how did that smack feel? What smack? What are you talking about? Did I get smacked?
Wrong.
Oh, the smack. Yeah. How did it feel? Maybe feel, I don't know, like inferior.
Yeah. So
they call him Smash. He's the clock guy. Well, Smash got to go smash somewhere else because he forgot to smash on Sunday. He didn't do his job on Sunday, that's for sure.
I am cold. I have a space heater blowing on me right now. Hardcore. It's blowing full speed.
You have a space heater? Is someone saying you look cold?
Yeah.
How did they know you look cold? You don't look cold. You look red.
At MetLife. I look what?
You look like we miscommunicated and you thought we were doing the 49ers preview.
No. The cravat attack shirts. I saw them in my drawer. I said, I want to put that on for the show.
We gotta, like, Lee, when we do the show for the 49ers Chaos Channel, we gotta pretend there is no Jets Chaos Channel. Like, we have to act like we don't know what people are talking about. Like, maybe change our voice a little bit. Yeah, this guy Brock Purdy looks pretty good. What do you think about Brock Purdy? You think he's the guy?
I don't know
what you're talking about. What two brothers that do the Jets? What are you talking about?
So here's why every Jet fan should be excited. I really hope every Jet fan is. First of all, we got some great young talent. We have a great defense. We are ahead of schedule and becoming a playoff team and maybe a Super Bowl team. But second of all, like, we're excited about a game. It's Christmas weekend, and we're excited about a football game for the Jets. Like, the Jets, for the most part, I mean, there's a scenario, but the Jets, for the most part, win 3 and we're in. Yes, I think every game's a tough game. Every game's a tough game. The teams that win the tough games are the teams that get the playoffs. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it is what it is. Like if we lose and people say, oh, that's it, we're not going to be all right. We don't deserve the playoffs. We're not a playoff team. I mean, and if we win, then we have hope still for the playoffs. That's the whole point. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are 7-7 right now in the same exact position as us, thinking we got to win. Otherwise,
yes.
We're not a playoff
But
team.
we happen to be the team that if we win them all, except for New England, and they're not going to sweep, the schedule's too hard, we're in. We're in.
We kind of have a control of our own destiny, kind of.
Yeah.
It'll be nice when if we win and then New England loses, it'll be nice to have that monkey off our back as soon as possible.
Yeah, but either
let's
way,
just hope New England loses so we get that part out of the way.
That's right. But either way, the mission is to just win, because that last game that we talked about, the last game of the season, Miami, New England's in Buffalo. So and Buffalo has something on the line. It's very difficult. They just lost to the Raiders, the lowly Raiders, right? So they just lost to the Raiders.
The lowly Raiders.
Right. So the odds of them beating Cincinnati and Miami and Buffalo, it's just very, very teeny.
Well, it's interesting you say all this because, by the way, that Raiders game, it was it was the McDaniels. It was the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, the New England offensive coordinator for many years, who this is, I think, the second time he's left to be a head coach. He failed the first time, and looks like he's not doing too well this time. But he beat his master. I mean, this was basically, Darth Vader beating the Emperor in a fight.
I am your father. Yes, master.
It was an interesting thing because then Josh McDaniels, the supposed coach of the Raiders, who's supposedly a Raider now, who supposedly loves the Raiders now because he's the coach of the Raiders, went over to Mac Jones after the game and said, "You're going to run the table and win the whole damn thing." Why are you encouraging him? You're not with Mac Jones anymore. You're not a New England Patriot anymore. Maybe he senses that since he's such a crappy coach, he's going to end up being on the Patriots.
Well, he threw around 42% was his completion ratio. So not too swift there, Mackie boy.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least he didn't throw the pass to the Raider and said, "Here, win the game." One of the reasons the Jets are excited about that play and how New
I'm
England
excited
lost.
about that brisket too now.
But I know I'm excited about that brisket, man. But one of the reasons why we're excited about that play and how New England lost the game was it erases in history. Maybe we'll all forget about the butt fumble. Because the Sanchez butt fumble, because we have a play that's more ridiculous. So, okay, so let's final prediction. We got to go because the guys are going to be on the panel. I'm going to say that the Jets are going to win this one 27-10. I think we're going to make an exclamation point and win this game. We're angry, we're mad, and I think Jacksonville is very much improved but very overrated. I think their matchup against us is horrible. They have no receivers. We're going to shut down his receivers. Trevor's going to crumble like the little crumbler he is, and we're gonna crush him. 27-10.
17-13 Jets.
All right, so there you have it.
17-13 Jets.
We are predicting victories. Those of you in the chat, before we go, if you want to put in your final score predictions. Joe Champion, you could put two predictions in. You could put with Zach and without Zach. I know you want to. Brian J says the Jets win 27-10 if they are a lock for the Super Bowl. Well, then you've heard it here first, Brian. You heard it here first. Ronald Perry is like so down on this team right now. I hate to have bumped into you last year at this time where we were like 3-13 or whatever it was. Jet Buttercup agrees with my analysis. He's not saying I'm wrong. I like that.
Yo, Sid Happens is with me, baby.
So here it comes flowing in, and luckily there are Jet fans that still believe in the Jets. Oh, Joe. Joe is 24-10 with Moore. You mean like Elijah Moore?
Moore's playing.
Yeah. Or maybe he's saying Elijah Moore playing quarterback. Anyway, me and Joe are predicting the same thing because I'm saying 27-10.
I got to. Ronald said the Jets don't deserve it. Well, if they end up being in, does that mean no team deserves it? And they had to pick a 7th team.
If they win 3 games and they're 10-7, they don't deserve it. 10-7 makes the playoffs almost every year.
And it means they beat out every other team.
Right. With the
what team would you say deserves it?
Right. With the extra playoff spot, 10-7. They said, I think it's like a 70-something% makes the playoffs. But you're right. The reality is, if we make the playoffs, it means we're the 7th best team in the AFC, and we deserve it.
Can I tell you something?
Then we don't.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
The best record the 7th wild card slot team is going to have the best record they could have is 10-7 right now. There are only 6 teams that have better than 10-7 right now.
Right.
So 10-7 is the best record that the 7th slot's going to have.
I just think that if we win the next 3 games, we
earned
deserve it. We deserve it.
We'll go into Miami and beat Miami. We definitely will.
10-7 deserve it. Beat Miami, deserve it. Why wouldn't we deserve it?
We would.
It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, you got to sign up. Before you sign off, I have one last thing to say. You can say with me if you want.
Okay. Go Jets. Oh yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
He breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good.
Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams?
Touchdown!
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beats